Day, students. I hope you are doing great today. So this time, we're going to discuss adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So previously, we have discussed about adding and subtracting simple fractions. Those are only simple because we are only dealing with fractions. This time, we will be dealing with mixed numbers. And as we all know, when we say mixed numbers, that means it has a whole number and it has a fractions. So we will be dealing with whole number and fraction this time. Okay? And with regrouping. What does it mean? You will learn that one later in subtracting mixed numbers. Let's start with this problem. So I have here 3 and 1/5 plus 6 and 2/5. So what is the answer for this? Again, the same thing in real life scenario, you will have to separately add the whole numbers and separately add the fractions. So same with adding whole numbers, we always start with our on the left side, or right side, sorry. So you have to start with the right side, the fractions. Okay? So start with the fraction. Can we add 1/5 and 2/5 easily? The answer is yes, because we have the same denominator. Remember that if we have the same denominator, we can easily add fractions. So let's try to add this one already. So we have 1/5 plus 2/5. So we just have to add the numerator, which is 1 and 2. So add them together, we have 3 over 5. That's over 5 because we just have to copy the denominator. Now let's try to add the whole number, which is 3 plus 6. The answer is 9. So our final answer for this problem is 9 and 3/5. Let's have example number 2. Here in our example number 2, we have the same denominator still. So we have 2 and 5/8 plus 1 and 3/8. So we have the same denominator for the fractions. Therefore, we can just easily add them together. So we just have to add the numerator, which is 5 plus 3, which is equals to 8. And then the denominator, just copy that one, which is equal to 8 also. Okay, therefore your fraction is 8 over 8. Remember that if your fraction is the same, that is equal to 1. Okay, remember that 8 over 8, it's equal to 1 because the fraction bar, it's actually division, then therefore 8 divided by 8, it's equal to 1. So your 1 will become a whole number. So cancel that one. Do not write the fraction already. Instead, that will become 1. And where are you going to place 1? You add that one to your whole number. So you have to carry 1. Okay, again, carry 1. It's there. Carry 1. Carry 1, ha? It's there. Okay, so we now have 1 plus 2 plus 1. So we now have 4 as our whole number. So the final answer for this is only 4. Okay? Again, number 2, the answer is 4. Let's move to example number 3. In example number 3, we have 3 and 3/5 plus 2 and 1/6. So this time, we have different fractions. So when I say different, they are dissimilar fractions. Again, when we say dissimilar fractions, that means they have different denominators. Can we just add the numerator and add the denominator? No. So we have to make an equivalent fractions on this. To do the equivalent fractions, remember that you always have to find the LCD or LCM. So LCD because we are dealing with denominators. Again, what are the denominators? We have 5 and 6. So what's the LCD of 5 and 6? The answer is 30. Again, the answer for LCD for 5 and 6, the answer is 30. Remember that one? Okay, so we will have to have a new fraction. The answer is 30. Now, what are we going to do next? Remember that we divide the LCD. That LCD 30, we divide that one to the given denominator, which is 5. So let's have first the 3/5. So given denominator, so 3 divided by 5, that's 6, right? So 6, multiply it to the numerator, which is 3. So 6 times 3, it's equals to 18. So you have to write here 18. Next, we have here 30. 30 divided by 6, the answer is 5. 5 times 1, the answer is 5. So we place here 5. So cancel those fractions already because we now have the equivalent fraction. So what are we gonna do next on this? We need to add na. Okay, so we can easily add already the fractions because we now have the same denominator, or it is already a similar fraction. Since this is already a similar fraction, so just copy the denominator, which is 30, and add all together your numerator, which is 18 and 5, that it's 23. Now the whole number, we have 3 plus 2, so the answer is whole number 5. So the answer for this problem is 5 and 23 over 30. We will now proceed to problem number 4. So for problem number 4, we have 3 and 1/2 plus 4 and 3/4. So how are we going to do that? Again, we cannot add the fractions easily here because we have different denominators. What are we going to do again with different denominators? We find the LCD. The LCD for this is 4. The LCD of 4 and 2 is 4. Therefore, so what are we going to do next? Divide 4 to 4. That's 1. Multiply it to 3. That is 3. So it's 3. Same here, 4 divided by 2. It's 2 times 1. It's 2. So you have to write here 2. So okay, this time, cancel now the fractions that you have earlier because you now have your new fraction there, but it is in different denominator. Okay? This time, we now have the same denominator. So we can now add this one because we have the same denominator. If we have the same denominator, we just have to copy that the same denominator and then add whatever is in your numerator. So 2 plus 3, it's equals to 5. Now remember, you cannot write improper fraction. So you have to make that one into proper fraction. What is your whole number when we divide? I mean, you have to make this improper fraction to mixed number. So what are we gonna do that? How are we going to do that? So we have to divide. So 5 divided by 4, the answer is whole number 1. So the result 1 will be your whole number. So you have to place it here. Here, you have to add it there. So there's supposed to be carry 1 here, ha? Okay, so and then your numerator now will become your... So what's the numerator? When you divide 5 divided by 4, what's the numerator? It's 1. It's over 4. Copy that denominator. Cancel now this fraction because we will be using 1/4. By the way, the answer for that one is 1 and 1/4. We place the whole number 1 here because we will add that one together with the rest of the whole numbers, and then this is what is left for our fraction, which is 1 over 4. Okay, so therefore we can add this one all together. We have 1 plus 3 plus 4, and then the answer is 8. So 8 and 1/4 is the answer. Let's have example number 5, the last number. So we have 3 and 1/2. 3 and 1/2 plus 4 and 3/4. So how are we gonna do this? Or we are done with this one. We will proceed to another one. Sorry. Okay, this one. We have 3 and 5/6 plus 1 and 3/8. So how are we gonna do this? So first, again, since we have different LCD, we have different denominators, then you have to find the LCD. So the LCD of 6 and 8 is... The answer is 24. The answer is 24. So you have to write your new fraction, which is 24 is the denominator. 24 now divided by 8, it's 3 times 3. The answer is 9. 24 divided by 6, the answer is 4. And then that 4 multiplied to 5, it's 20. Okay? It's 20. So cancel now the fractions. By the way, it's 20 here. So cancel now the fraction here. And then we now have similar fractions. Since we now have similar fraction, we can just easily add the fractions. By what? By adding the numerator, which is 29 over 24. And your denominator will be 24, sorry. So 29 over 4, so you have to convert that one into mixed number. The whole number in the mixed number will be placed here, which is 1. And then the remaining, or the remainder, which is 5. And copy the denominator, which is 24. So cut all that one na. Okay, so this is your fraction, 5 over 24. This time, you have to add now your whole numbers, which are 1, 3, and 1. The answer is 5. Your final answer must be 5 and 5, 24. Okay, let's proceed now to subtracting mixed numbers, but with regroupings. So we are done with subtraction because we combined that one to the, when we discuss about simple fraction, no, adding and subtracting simple fraction. This time we will be dealing with mixed numbers now for the subtraction. Let's start with this one. So let's do this first. So again, if you have different denominators, what are we gonna do again? You have to find the LCD and do the equivalent fraction. Okay, watch this. So the LCD of 6 and 8 is actually 24, right? How to do again the LCD? So you have to find the multiples 6, 12, and 18 and 24, so on. And then for 8 we have 8, 16, 24. So the LCD again, it's 24 again. Then we can now have the equivalent fraction. Again, that 24, divide that one here, and then multiply to the numerator. Same here, 28, 24 divided by 6 times 5. The answer is 20. That is your new numerator. Again, always remember that you have to divide this one. 24 divided by 3, 8. 24 divided by to the given denominator, multiply to the given numerator. The result will be your new numerator. Okay, so that's it. And since we are done with this, so we're just going to subtract 20 to 9. Okay, so 20 minus 9, the answer is 11. And then copy the denominator used already. Okay, and then for the whole numbers, again, separate them. So whole number is 3 minus 1, the answer is 2. So what if I am supposed to subtract a larger fraction from a smaller fraction? So just like in the problem below. So we have 7 and 1/8 subtracted to 3 and 3/8. So we know, since we have the same denominator, we can easily subtract the fractions. But what we have here is a smaller fraction subtracted to a larger fraction. And we know that we cannot do that because 1 minus 3, that is not possible. So how are we going to do that now? So you have to borrow from your whole number. So remember that if we represent this one as like pizza, for example, since you need 3 slices of pizza and you only have 1 slice of pizza, right? The fraction there. Therefore, you have to open 1 box. And the box is representing the whole, right? So you have to open the box. So just like the same here, you have to get 1 box. So that is already 6 boxes, all in all na lang what is left. And then, your 1 box, that will be included now to your slice. Okay? Slice. So how are you going to do that? You have to convert that 1 and 1/8 into improper fraction. So, how are you going to convert mixed to improper? I think you know that one already. So we have 8 times 1 divided by plus 1. So 8 times 1 plus 1. So what's the answer? It's 9. So we have 9 here. And always remember to copy the denominator. Okay, so let's have here. So again, it's 1. And then what are we gonna do? Multiply the 8 to times 1 and then plus 1. And then the answer is 9 over 8. 9 over 8. So we can now easily subtract 9 over 8 to 3 over 8. Your fractions, right? So the answer is 6 over 8. Remember that we can simplify this one. So we can simplify that one to 3/4 by dividing the numerator and denominator to 2. So we now have the final answer as 3 and 3/4. Okay? Okay, this time, how about this? Again, the same thing, that is 4/9 subtracted to 7/9, and that is not possible. So how are we going to do that? we have to borrow from the whole number 10. That's why it becomes 9. And where is your 1 now? Your 1 will be included in your fractions. So this time, you will have to convert this one, the 1 and 4/9, into improper fraction. And if we convert that one, we will have 9 or 313 over 9. So this time, we can subtract now 13 over 9 to 7 over 9. Again, you have the same denominator. You just have to copy and then subtract the numerator, which is 13 minus 7. It's equals to 9. And then subtract also the whole numbers, which is 9 minus 4. And that's why we have the answer 5. This time, we can simplify 6 over 9 by dividing both by 3. And then the answer is 2/3. Therefore, our final answer here is 5 and 2/3. I hope that is clear. So now, can you regroup with unlike denominators? How about if we have unlike denominators? What are we gonna do with this? So, the same thing earlier. As always, if you have different denominators, we cannot easily subtract or add the numerator. So, what you're going to do is you have to find the LCD. So, what's the LCD of 3 and 7? Okay, as we all know, the LCD for that one, it's 21. And then, since you have LCD 21, what are you gonna do next? So you just have to make an equivalent fraction. So 21 divided by 7, it's equal to 3, times 15, it's equal to, times 5, it's equal to 15. So you will write there 15. Next, you have 21 divided by 3, it's 7. 7 times 2, the answer is 14. And then cancel now the fractions that you have there, okay? Because you already have the equivalent fraction. This time, can we subtract 14? We can now easily subtract the numerators and copy the denominator. So 14 minus 15 cannot be. Since we cannot do subtraction from 14 to 15, then therefore we have to borrow from the whole number. That whole number 9 becomes 8. And you will have to write 1 there. And convert that one to improper fraction. So 21 times 1 plus 14. Your result will be your new numerator. So 21 times 1, it's 21. Plus 14, that's actually 35. So you will have right here 35. 35 over what? Copy the denominator. So don't forget to copy the denominator. This time, so cancel now your mixed number there. That is now your fraction. So you have your whole number, you have your fraction. Whole number, you have your fraction. This time, we can easily subtract now the fractions that you have there. So we have 35 minus 15. That is actually equal to 20. And then copy the denominator as always. And then you go to your whole number, which is 8 minus 5. The answer is 3. So your final answer must be 3 and 20 over 21. I hope that is clear. And you can also see there the solutions. So it's like that. See? So we subtract from 1, so we will multiply it by, so we now have the whole number. It becomes 35 over 31. Okay, so too much on that. We will proceed now to another example. How about this one? What if you are dealing with a whole number subtracted to a mixed number? So what are we gonna do on that? So we have to remember that a whole number, that means it has only a whole number and there is no fraction there. How are we going to subtract a whole number only without fraction to a mixed number which has a fraction? This time, we cannot actually subtract because there is nothing here, right? That means we have to write there 0 over 8. It's there, okay? So 0 over 8. So what are we gonna do next? That is the time now that you can subtract. That is the time now that you can subtract 0 to 2, okay? But this time, you cannot subtract that one because as we can see, 0 cannot be subtracted to 2. Therefore, you have to borrow again from your whole number, which becomes a whole number 5. Okay? So, it becomes a whole number 5. Therefore, you have to place the 1 day here and then make that one into improper fraction. So, or convert that one to improper fraction. Although this is not exactly an improper fraction, but as we all know, that 1 is equivalent to any kind of fractions that is similar. I mean, the numerator and denominator must be the same. So, why are you not using 2 over 2, sir? Why are you not using 3 over 3? Those are equivalent to 1. I am using 8 over 8 class because we have denominator 8 here, right? That is for us to make it easy. We have the same denominators already. Diba? So, as we all know, if we have the same denominator, we can easily subtract or add the numerator. So, that's it. So, we can now subtract 8, the numerator there, to 2. And we have 6 over 8. And subtract the whole number. We have 2 as whole number. So we can simplify the fraction 6 over 8 by dividing that one into 2. So 2 over 2. So we now have 3/4 as our final answer. So always remember to simplify your answer. So the same thing in the second example. I hope this is clear to all of you, and goodbye.